Introducing the Crazy Candy Catapult game. Flip a coin. If it lands on heads, the player gets 4 shots to make a piece of candy in the bucket. However, if it lands on tails, the player only gets 2 shots to make a piece of candy into the bucket. The player will then proceed to shoot candy into the bucket. If the player landed on heads, they will get 4 shots at the bucket, and if they landed on tails, then they will only get 2 shots at the bucket. The player will then keep track of the number of successful shots that they have using the chart provided. For every successful shot, they will place 1 sticker under the column labeled Number of Successful Shots. Our first probability is the probability that a player will flip a heads in the coin flip, and we set this to probability of A equals 1/2. The second probability is the probability of a player making it in the bucket at least 1 time, and we found this to be the probability of B equals 24 over 1,175. The probability of A and B, which would be the probability that a player flips heads and makes it into the bucket, is 1/2 times 0.08, which comes out to be 0.04. The probability of A or B, which would be the probability that a player flips heads or makes it into the bucket, would be 1/2 plus 24 over 1,175 minus 0.04. So this comes out to be the probability of A or B equals approximately 0.48. The probability of B given A would be the probability that you make it into the bucket given that you flipped heads. This would be 1,151 over 1,175 to the power of 4. This will give you 0.92. 0.92 is the probability that you will miss. So therefore, to find the probability that you'll make it, you would do 1 minus 0.92, which would give you 0.08. Therefore, the probability of B given A equals 0.08. After playing the game with the kindergartners, we found that the actual probability that a kindergartner will flip heads is 6 over 14, which will give you 0.43. We found that the actual experimental probability of making it in the bucket at least once is 8 over 14, which equals 0.57. We found that the actual experimental probability of a player flipping heads and making it in the bucket was 0.43 times 0.57, which gives you 0.2451. We also found that the actual experimental probability of A or B, this is the probability that a player will flip heads or make it in the bucket, was 0.43 plus 0.7 minus 0.2451. This gives you 0.7549.